Hey guys, it's your boy Sam here, and I'm back with another episode of Ripping the Boards. This is Let's Talk NASCAR Racing, where we talk all things NASCAR all the time. It's been a couple weeks since I made a video, so since then we've had the Martinsville race and we've had the finale, and man, a lot, a lot went down. Let's we can just skip the Martinsville races. We can talk about the finale. Um, so thank God we're basically done with this format, or at least the format as it is. We're probably gonna, at least at the very worst, we're gonna get a four race, a final round, and man, um, only one of the champions that we thought were gonna win probably actually won. Um, and here's why. So on Friday night, Corey Haim was able to win the Truck Series championship. Sounds good, right? But if we were actually in a system, in a format that actually rewards winning and consistency, this thing would have been locked up like at least 2 3 weeks ago for the Truck Series. But no, he had to win the championship by making a seven wide pass for the lead, um, in overtime. Uh, Yay, right? So if he hadn't been able to pull off that move, uh, either Ty Majeski, yeah, Ty Majeski was the other guy that was up there at the time, and he would have been able to win his second championship in a row. But even last year, people were saying that he wasn't even deserving of being in the Final Four. I disagree, but Ty, this year, no one was in the same realm as Corey Haim. I believe the win that he had last Friday was his 11th or 12th win of the season. So no one was even in the same zip code as Corey Haim all year. Maybe Lane Riggs from time to time. But other than that, he was basically in a league of his own. Same thing for the Xfinity Series, where we move up to the Xfinity Series, where Jesse Love was able to actually beat Connor Zilic. Connor Zilic, the same Connor Zilic who had 18 consecutive races of finishing in the top five. The same Connor Zilic had 10 wins on the season. He finished third in the race, I believe. He was second or third in the race. Yeah, yeah. And he finished second in the championship. Yeah. So going into Sunday's race, people were already like, like we're over this. We're really over this. 2024 was, 2024 was the last straw for everybody. Um, Everyone that hated this format. This year was just, another nail in the coffin because, we're just done. And so we get to Sunday. Denny Hamlin is dominating Sunday's race. I don't think it was a good race at all. Tires mattered, but then tires shredded. Tires blew out, and I don't, I don't care what anybody says. Even these guys will tell you that doesn't create good racing. That just creates, you know, you're chancing. You're at the mercy of if your pit crew put enough air in the tire. You know what I'm saying? Or you're just going to be slow in the next run. But you can't afford to be slow. You can't afford to lose a tire. So you're just playing with hand grenades, but for tires. It makes no damn sense to me. But anyways, yeah. Either way, Denny Hamlin was able to dominate that race, leading, I believe, 206 of the 312, uh, you know, over, regulation laps. But then it all came down to a green white checkered because fellow championship four competitor William Byron, with 3 laps to go, blew a right front tire, and it was already precedent throughout the day that they weren't going to throw cautions for all these, tire issues throughout the day. But NASCAR being NASCAR, the only consistent thing about NASCAR is that they are wildly inconsistent. So, you know, based on their own rules, they should throw a caution every time there's every time there's a tire problem and a guy hits the wall, potential debris, you want to be safe. But they don't. And they do it a lot. You can see people running out, people hitting the wall, people spinning out. You're always wondering, are we going to get caution? Are we not? You don't know for sure. So, but we all knew that, especially those who are the conspiracy theorists in us, or also believing that NASCAR was going to look for any and every excuse to throw a caution, because they also don't want to give Denny Hamlin the championship because he's suing them. But yeah. So getting that little tire that came apart with William Byron's car was the perfect excuse. And you're like, oh, they're probably like, oh, thank God, we don't have to. So because more than likely, if you're the leader in the green white checkered, you're probably not going to win the race, because whatever you do, everyone else behind you is probably going to try to do something contrary. And so Danny Hamlin was the leader by over 3.5 seconds with 3 laps to go. And his pit crew decided to go, his crew chief decided to go 4 tires, while everyone else in front of him went, I think, either stayed out or went 2 tires, 2 right side tires, and including Kyle Larson, who is our eventual champion, and he's champion right now. And so that's what went down. On the instant restart, Denny Hamlin was unable to get around a few cars, in front of him. He was able to move up from 10th to 6th, but no further. And even with the advantage of the pressure tires. And Kyle Larson was able to manage just to come home in 3rd. But by the rules of the rule book, he is a champion for this year. And so you're like, Sam, what's the problem? The guy who scored the most points over the entire season won the championship. And you're right. But under this format where they're like, oh, you need to win, you need to win, you need to win. Kyle Larson hasn't won since May, I believe. You know what I'm saying? It's been over 20 races since he's been in victory lane. I'm not saying, oh, you need to win in the playoffs to be considered a worthy championship. I don't believe that. But by their own letter of the law, Kyle Larson hasn't won in like over 5 months. What happened to you? Winning means everything. What happened to that? Kyle Larson himself said it feels weird to win the championship. How is the winner of your biggest prize in your sport saying it feels weird to win? Because the way that it all went down, it's empty. It's empty, guys. The ends did not justify the means. We manufacture Game 7 moments. It's a Game 7 moment every year. And so no, it's no longer Game 7. It's like you want to be a Super Bowl so bad, but that's what our Daytona 500 is supposed to be. And you don't win a championship based off that. You win a race. You win the biggest race in NASCAR, the Daytona 500. That kicks off our season. Not winning you the championship. These Game 7 moments that we've had in NASCAR, the 92 championship, with 6 drivers mathematically able to win the championship that day. That was special because it doesn't happen all the time. 2011, we had the wild card. We had the chase. That does not happen a lot. We've had championships where they've been locked up races in advance. People don't like that, but they're like, oh, when we have it come down to the last run, you need to be flawless on that last run of the race. That means everything because you cherish that because you don't know when the next time you're going to see that is. But with this playoff system, you get that every year. Every year. So it's no longer special. We expect it. And then we expect NASCAR to pull their own shenanigans. We have stage racing. Why do we need to throw cautions for phantom debris? Why do we need to throw cautions for things that are not cautions? Someone grazing the wall, but we're throwing a caution. Some car is a little bit sideways. We're throwing the caution before they even get spun around. We don't know if they're going to save it or not. But we're not based on entertainment. This is a sport. I don't know, man. Looks rigged to me. So you could say, yes, Kyle Larson had the most points on the season. He's a deserving champion. No one can refute that. But once again, by its own doing, NASCAR has found a way to cheat not only its competitors, not only its fans, but its own damn self. Because they can't see beyond what they want to see. And so now all we have to look forward to in this offseason is 2311 and Front Runner Motorsports kicking their ass in that lawsuit. That's how we're going to move forward. Us changing this format that we have for a champion. Either give us a chase or give us full season points. Let's get rid of this playoff nonsense. We're not asking anymore. We're ready to leave if you don't change. We're ready to leave because a lot of us I still care. That's why I'm like pleading, like we need to change this now. But there's a lot of people, they're numb already. They're numb. That's worse than being angry. You don't feel anything anymore. Next thing you know, the sport is dead to them. And it's NASCAR's own doing. So, wake up, NASCAR. Let's do this. Let's get this thing right back on track. Even if you want to take credit for fixing what you messed up in the first place, fine, cool. Just get it done. Hi, I'm Sam. It's been another episode of Ripping the Boards. I'm your boy. We could talk more in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Let's Talk_NASCAR for more. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuce.